Hey, this is Richard Schneider with Antennas Direct, and we are here in Mooresville, North Carolina at the end of the Great Race. We just crossed the line on day 7 of the Great Race, and we brought with us a ClearStream 4 television antenna, and we're going to see how many channels we can get in the Mooresville area. Now, Mooresville is part of the Charlotte television market, and it's number 21 out of 210 television markets in the United States. Now, we're also going to try to get Winston-Salem, North Carolina, as well as Charlotte, the stations in Charlotte. So we're going to be based in Mooresville tonight. We're going to do a channel scan, and I'm feeling really good about this because the stations, instead of being in an opposite directions, they're in about a 90-degree separation. Now, the stations out of according to Winston-Salem, according to Antenna Point, are actually about 80 to 90 miles away from Mooresville. So the Charlotte stations are about 12 to 18 miles away from Mooresville. So I'm not that worried about getting the Charlotte television stations. But what I'm really looking forward to is seeing, can we get a few out-of-market channels? And that would be a huge win, I think, for this trip, to show how many channels that we can get when we stop into a middle market town. Can we get some channels without anything elaborate, without combining antennas, with just a simple ClearStream 4 that you could buy at any old Best Buy, and we would be able to get 2 markets with 1 antenna. And that's what I'm hoping for tonight. So wish me luck. Channel scan in Mooresville, North Carolina, which also covers the market of Charlotte. I believe it's market number 21. And again, this is our first channel scan in Mooresville, North Carolina. WFNY, crime, mystery, quest, outlaw, QVC, WBT, TV. So here we are. We're watching Svengoolie on simultaneously on the hotel cable system and on a ClearStream 4 antenna. Now, we did a channel scan earlier today. We discovered we could get 83 channels on the antenna, but only 63 channels on the hotel's internal cable system. But now that we're watching them both side by side, we notice a couple things. The monster on Svengoolie is upscaled to 1080p, while the same program is compressed. So as you can obviously see, that the antenna picture is of a much higher quality, much crisper, more vibrant. And also, you'll see that the time is different and that the signal arrives at the antenna about 10 to 15 seconds faster than it makes its way through the antiquated hotel cable system. Notice the vibrant, rich detail that's available over the air. That's because there's less compression. Well, everything that's sent over a cable system has to be horribly compressed. So, again, one more reason why over-the-air television is superior to pay television.
It's all right, it's me.
You can see the details of his face and all the disfigurement. Much better over the antenna. Okay, here is an antenna point. Here is showing the stations in Charlotte, which are relatively close, and this is me aiming it. You can see all the possibilities of that's available when you look on an antenna point in this market. So we're actually standing in a parking lot in Mooresville near Highway 77. And we were able to get all the stations in Winston-Salem and Greensboro. And then we picked up the Charlotte stations off to the side of the antenna. The closer stations we were able to get on the side. And we aimed the strongest point of the antenna at the weakest channels, the ones that were most distant. And we just did it, you know, putting the antenna in our window of our hotel room here in Mooresville, North Carolina. So if you don't have the antenna point app, download it. There's no learning curve. It's very simple to use, and it's free of charge. So good morning. This is Richard Schneider with Antennas Direct on a very hot Sunday morning in Mooresville, North Carolina. And you can hear Highway 77 behind me. We are doing channel scans around the country. We're going around to every market in the United States and seeing how many channels we can get. And there are 210 television markets in the United States. We are in Mooresville, which is considered part of the Charlotte television market, which is ranked number 21 out of 210. And here next to me is my very beat up and scratched ClearStream 4 antenna, which we've been dragging around the country. It's been dropped a half a dozen times and shoved in and out of trunks, and it's still running strong. But we decided to do a channel scan right here from the hotel. Just did it in our rooms here on the 3rd floor. And we aimed it actually at Winston-Salem and Greensboro, which are about 70 miles in that direction, according to Antenna Point, which is very helpful. It's an app, and you can use it to aim your antenna. And so we aimed the strongest part of the antenna at the weakest signals. And so we picked up the Greensboro and Winston-Salem signals off the front of the antenna. And the Charlotte stations are about, 15 miles here down to the south of us. And we were able to pick the Charlotte stations up as well. So we got a total of 83 channels. And that's a record, I think, for us on this great race tour. Well, except Minneapolis, which we got well over 100. I shouldn't say that. But the whole point is, even in middle markets, you're able to get digital television. You can still get dozens, if not 100 digital channels in a middle market. And so people who say, well, I live in a small town, I'm not going to get anything. Well, that's incorrect. You can get quite a few stations no matter where you live. And so last night, we actually just watched television. Our favorite channel is MeTV, and we like to watch Svengoolie. And last night they were playing the Space Monster versus Frankenstein. And so we played this on our over-the-air television in our hotel room, and simultaneously watched it through the hotel cable system, the very same program. And it was interesting to see how much more vibrant and how much more detail there was on an old monster creature feature from Svengoolie than there was from the very highly compressed cable system over the Marriott hotel system. So it's a lot of fun over the air, and to see the detail that you can't see from compressed streaming or cable or satellite. Because when you broadcast over the air, there is much less, if any, compression of the signal. So anyways, this is our last day of the great race. We've been running our DB4. It's been running flawlessly, knock on wood. And so we're going to go on to our last stop here this afternoon in, I forgot. What is it? Columbia, South Carolina will be our final stop of the great race, and it'll be our last channel scan. So wish us luck. Good luck.